everything has energy, and that energy actually governs your life. That energy actually tells you how your life is. So if your cupboards are cluttered, if your drawers are cluttered, things are overflowing, um, that actually reflects on how your life is. Just keep these things in mind. Don't judge yourself, but just keep these things in mind. And the words that actually came to me, but they came to me after I had made the poster, was that really these three words, that less is more. Less is more. You know, that's something which we really need to reflect upon. And also another thing that came to me was that if we are so full of certain things, if we are so, say, things are overflowing in our life, in terms of our cupboards are stocked, our storages are stocked, I mean, we see it all along, and sometimes it's actually stocked in a very neat and a clean way, but it's always more than what we want. And I think we all learned this a lot. At least it was a big thing for me during the lockdown, because when the lockdown started, it was not easy to go to the market and bring things. And we all used up stored groceries at home. And of course, being in Hindu Punjabi families, we always have more than what we need. We bring in that ration for the month, but for most of our houses, especially when there are children and a lot of people coming and going, there's always that cupboard which is like, okay, in case of need or in case of emergency. And in the lockdown, I think for about 1 month, 1.5 month, if we didn't buy anything except maybe the fresh vegetables, we could have survived. Most of our homes were equipped with that much that we could have survived. So it's really worth a reflection that yes, we need to have excess, but that excess also has to be very fresh. You know what I mean? And clutter is not about physical clutter. Physical clutter is more evident and visible to us, but it's when I reflected on this, the clutter is not just physical, it is mental, it's emotional, and it's spiritual. Physical clutter, we all know, like so many times we keep thinking, oh, we need to remove so many things that we don't wear or we don't use. And there were this whole movie with Mary Kondo, who spoke so much about decluttering and the importance of it. And that time when it came in, I think all of us looked at it and we really realized the importance of it. But we get back into our lazy modes, and we just put these things really on the back bench. And so I really feel we need to reflect on what is this when we are talking about all the Sundays that we have been talking about. We are talking about letting go. We're talking about giving up, all the things that do not serve us. And yes, that mental clutter is nothing but all these things that we hold in our mind, all these emotions that we hold in our mind, emotions of fear, emotions of anxiety, emotions of, grief, sadness, because somehow we feel it's safe to hold them, isn't it? And we have been speaking about how to let go of those and decluttering the mind. When we look at emotional clutter, it's all about patterns that we hold on to, and somehow we're not aware that we can, break through those patterns. So we keep living lifetime after lifetime, and we keep living all our lives with that pattern. And when we come to spiritual clutter, it's all this, I just can't forgive this person. So I'm holding on to that, to that energy of um, not being able to let go of certain situations or certain things. So forgiveness is something which I sort of associated with spiritual clutter, or lack of the ability of to forgive, or lack of say even peace, because spirituality really takes you to a no mind space. So lots to reflect upon when we talk about declutter. It's not just about setting your cupboards nicely and removing the things that you don't need, but yes, that's the space that you need to start from. So when you look at your cupboard and you see that there is so much, and always we keep much more because we feel that that excess is going to give us happiness and joy. But that's really not the case. And when you set that one day apart, maybe it's that one day in the year or a week of Diwali, week before Diwali, when you just remove so many things that you don't need, when you open up your cupboards and you send that whole box to a charity, or donate it when this one particular week the Dan Utsav happens, with the Gunj thing, where you just donate a lot of stuff. Or even on a day when you just open up your refrigerator, take everything out, clean it, and put it back. Isn't there a lightness? Isn't there a good feeling, so called good feeling that we all feel? Doesn't our energy feel more vibrant and more happy? So that's the space from where we are going to get in more. And then if we are stocked with so much, whether it's our cupboard or whether it's our refrigerators or whether it's our store or whether it's our mind, from where will new things come in? From where will we bring in more abundance into our life if we don't remove that old clutter? There's no space for new, isn't it? If there are things that are lying, that are rotting in the refrigerator, till the time you don't take them out and throw them, where can you bring in the fresh food? I'm just giving you a very, an example of how we can look at things in life also. So when we look at even manifesting abundance, abundance is not just about money, and the abundance in money really comes in when we are abundant in our heart. And on the other spectrum, when I looked at this whole thing, on the other end of the spectrum, I found that when we really take those things out, why do we store these things first? Why do we store these things? Or why all of us have things that we can easily dispose of. I think more than 50-60% of our things are just lying there. I mean, 8 months of lockdown, we didn't even use more than 4 or 5 pairs of clothes. Most of us didn't. We just used to, we're home, we're not going out. Even if we're on Zoom, okay, we wear a nice shirt, but we are like in nice, comfortable lowers, like a track pant or pajamas or something. So we use those things. There was, of course, in here in India, there was no help, so we had to wash our own clothes. We were using just 2 or 3 utensils, just cook, wash, and keep. So we really understood the need and the importance, and the truth of the excesses that are just overflowing in our houses and in our cupboards and in our lives. And actually, that was not giving us any sense of peace. In fact, we were very happy by just cooking very minimal, eating, cleaning, putting the dishes back. And there were stores actually which just didn't need to be opened, because we were not taking out that crockery, we were not taking out those cupboards, and it was just lying there. So we can live in that way, but we were more happy as families, we were more happy as being together, and enjoying. And that is when these words, less is more, really came in to my mind. So why do we keep these things? Either we have a lot of emotional attachment, that, oh, this gift was given to me by so and so. Maybe the person has moved on, but you have an emotional connect to it. And I don't mean that we just need to throw away anything, or we feel like we might need it someday. Let's just store it for that day when we might need it. And we don't realize sometimes that we keep storing more and more, thinking that, okay, we may need it, so just to be have that safety factor, or that sense of security, that yeah, it's lying with us or it's lying there, we hold on to that. Or it is something that we feel guilty about disposing of, that yeah, this was given to me by my mother, this was given to me by my such a person who loved me so much. Even though I don't need it, I don't feel like sort of disposing it or throwing it out. So or sometimes we buy things in sales, in good bargains. Oh, we were getting two free with two, so we just bought them even if we didn't need them. So we have those clothes also lying which have their labels on, just because we bought them in a bargain or in a sale. But do these, they brought me joy then while I was buying it, because I was getting a high, but that's a very temporary and um, a very artificial high, I would say. So just putting this out to you to understand that all of us need to really, really declutter and make space for the new, or make space for abundance in our lives. And so I also came upon this little practice that was taught to us by our teacher many years back. Whenever we used to do a workshop, we always used to touch our forehead to the earth, to the ground, and we used to say "Tera tujhko arpan," means yours, back to you. And the process, or the intent behind doing that was that whatever I have received, I have embodied, and now I'm emptying myself out to receive more, because I've received it from there, and I return it back there. And whatever needs to be with me, or whatever needs to stay with me, stays with me. And that's actually, we took that practice in a very, on a totally different tangent, because we even started, sort of saying that, oh, I've got this pain, so I return this back to you. I'm feeling this anger, I've got it from the universe, and I'm returning it back to you. So this process of really releasing what needs to be released, or clearing and giving back what is not mine anymore. When I say mine, I don't just mean mine physically, I mean that it served me, like Vinita said, it has served me, done what it needed to do, and now, like, I'm ready to let go of it. And in the same way, really, really decluttering the mind. Because when we accumulate these emotions, when we accumulate these fears, anxieties, all these emotions, uh, it just clogs up, and it just doesn't allow the energy to flow, because it just blocks everything that is inside. And we hold on to these resentments and these fears and these anxieties, because somewhere we feel safe, or we start identifying with them in such a way that it's fearful to let them go. And even even when we talk about people saying that I try to do the best diets, I do the best, I go to the best gyms, but still I'm not able to lose weight, that too comes from a space where we feel that I don't want to let go of this, because it's my safety factor. And this has been proven in a lot of, by a lot of people who have struggled with losing weight, because it's the emotional weight that we carry, and we don't want to let go of it. Or even when we look at people with addictions, it's just so familiar to go and pick up, that cigarette or that glass of wine or that thing, because it just makes you feel very familiar and safe. So the clutter that we hold is really there to, give us that safety factor. It's holding on to things which we don't need, but we are familiar with, and it's easy to access them. Rather than going out for a walk, it's easy to, say, okay, or push that thought out and come into the space of, just getting into the addiction of food or drinking or smoking or whatever it is. So when we talk about declutter, it's really to release that blocked energy in our cupboards, in our storage, even on the computers. How many emails we have which are just not needed? We don't even open them, but we need to really sit and unsubscribe them. So many of files we keep saving. I mean, I know for sure that I'm not very technologically, like, I'm not very good at all this, so I just save a file, but next time when I need to access that file, I can't find it, so I go back to that old thing and I download it again. So a lot of times we have a lot of clutter in our laptops, in our phones, and our phones so full of clutter, and then it's like memory is full. So we need to understand that from all aspects, we need to delete, 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 really delete. Only then we can bring in more abundance in our lives. And how do we do that? By really trusting the universe. If we keep those old things, then we feel that, okay, I don't have that trust in the universe that I'm going to get something new. That's why I hold on to the old. Even in relationships which are not serving us, we just hold on to them because they are like an uncomfortable comfort zone, because we feel fearful of change. We don't know what lies outside. So it's familiar to us to be in this zone where, even if I'm not being respected, I'm being abused, but I continue to be in that job or in that relationship just because it's familiar, and I'm not ready to let go. And how will more, and then I say, okay, I ask that, how will I move ahead in life? How will I move ahead till I don't let go, or I close those old old relationships? And that leads me to the thing that I was talking about, that really, really trusting the universe, that there is more that you are ready to receive, but you have to have the space to receive it. You have to have the space to receive it. So really allowing yourself to open yourself to receiving abundance. And now I go one step further. So when we talk about abundance and I talk about space, I'm not talking about physical space. I'm really talking about the high vibrational space we need to bring all of us into, to really feel deserving of that abundance that I want in my life. And that abundance is not going to come when I'm hooked onto fears and anxieties and, low self-esteem and anger and hate and all those low vibrations. So when we raise our vibrations and we come into a space of, say, gratitude or joy, living from those spaces of, say, beyond love, as I call it, that's when abundance flows in your life. And that's nothing but the law of attraction in a different way. Because whatever we focus on, it comes into our life. And now I answer Vinita's question, which she spoke about, that, that when we are removing clutter, we need to be in gratitude that it has served us and it's ready to go. But look at it from a different angle. When we say gratitude, when will you say gratitude? You'll only say gratitude when you have something to be thankful for, whether it's this much or this much or this much or this much, right? So when you say gratitude, the universe says, looks at your energy, or the vibrations that you're sending into the universe are of that I have so much and I'm thankful for that. And I'm even thankful for whatever it did, and I'm ready to let it go. So give her more things to be in gratitude for, because what is she attracting? She's attracting more gratitude. So that's whatever you focus on, that's what sort of expands in your life. So you focus on gratitude, you receive more you receive more situations in your life to express gratitude. You focus on pain, you receive more situations in your life to experience pain. You focus on lack, or that I'm not abundant or I'm always in lack, you get more situations to be experiencing that lack in every aspect of your life. So, yes, things like gratitude and appreciation and joy are the high vibrations that we need to live in. And so we need to declutter of all those low vibrations. We know very well about the emotional guidance scale, and the all this work that we do, this energy work, is all about really raising those vibrations to come into the space of abundance. And when we are in that space of say of high vibrations, that's when we feel deserving of more, and that's when we manifest more, whether it's money, whether it's clothes, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job. In fact, about an hour back, I was just having a session with one of the ladies, and she said, I hate my job, but I really can't help it because there are not many jobs around available at this time. But I really, really want to get a new job. So I told her that till the time you keep hating this job, you will not get a new job. In fact, you need to be really in gratitude. I mean, see the statement, I hate my job, but I know I can't get another job. Rather than be in gratitude to that, job to karna hi hai, 9 to 5 jana hai, ya you have to sit on that on your desk from that time. But you can either do it with gratitude or you can do it by hating it. That's the energy. That's the energy. And the moment actually you remove or you shift that vibration from hate to, okay, I'm happy that I have this job because there are not many jobs around, rather than I hate my job and I know that there are not many jobs around, it just puts you into that low vibration or that high vibration. That's the shift that you need to bring about, because life is what it is and it's going to be what it is. But your energy and your approach, your focus on that can shift when you look at the same thing, the same situation, by feeling gratitude that I have so much to declutter. Right? You bought those things to give you some joy. They served you, even if you didn't use them. While buying them, you were feeling very happy. Yeah, I've got these things on a sale. And we've all experienced it. We all do that, you know. And even if it is like a little not fitting too well, but yeah, it's on a sale, it's a good deal, let's just buy it. And we all do that mindlessly. But what are we bringing in? We are just bringing in that clutter. So now let's look at thinking, looking at those things and saying, okay, even if I got that joy of purchasing it or buying it from the shop and bringing it and saying, yeah, there's a very good deal here, and I just picked up that stuff and that just gives me a high. Now it served that purpose. So let's really try and declutter and really send it to a space where it will be really used, and actually it will be appreciated. We don't even realize how our stores are full, our garages are full, there are boxes which we just don't want to let go of. But anything, it's really a rule, anything that does not that you have not used for the past 7 months, 6, 8 months, just remove it out. Or we feel, okay, maybe next season I'll wear it, or I want to keep it for some reason that, yeah, I have a very strong emotional attachment. Okay, a few things are fine here, there. But we really need to be more realistic. If you just send that carton to a old age home or a place where, there are, where some orphanages where they are needed. I mean, it's like a treasure for those places. It's really like a treasure for those places. So really understand and reflect that how generous and how much your heart is opening when you're removing those things and giving it to somebody. Again, we have to be very, very, very aware of our ego from at that point, because sometimes we say, my clothes are so good, but I've just given them to my maid. It comes from a very ego space. And on the other hand, it's really about, yeah, I feel so happy that, she's using them and wearing them. So that subtle line of giving from the heart or from the mind is very, very important to also reflect on, because that's how you manifest. The universe also gives you in that way. Everything, the energy with which you are sort of decluttering is also very, very important to understand. So when you really give from your heart, it brings in great joy, because you're really opening up your heart chakra and even giving the things that you loved. That's when you give from the heart and not from the mind. And when you really declutter, you know how we usually do? Okay, first let me take out all the things that I don't need. And there's this huge pile there and I just need this. And then I say, अच्छा इसको भी रख लेती हूँ, कभी तो ये काम आ जाएगा. Maybe next winter I can wear it when I travel. And then this becomes this much and this pile becomes this much, isn't it? So really, use it from or do this from a space of expandedness. Again, not from a space of contractedness. And I'm sure you all know these things. I'm sure you all know these things. And it's the same way, like when so many people say that you're doing so many sessions, like all these sessions you're offering so much. It's really telling me that I'm not offering. It's the kind of people that I have connected to, the abundance that has come into my life by offering this, this 1 hour or these 3 hours. It has brought in so much joy and abundance and connected me to so many people that I can't even talk about it. Even today somebody mentioned to me that, why don't you put a charge on your Monday, Wednesday, Friday sessions. I don't want to put a charge, because it's not about giving and receiving. It's about the expansion that I have experienced in myself, in my energy, in my life, by offering this. And again, I'm not talking from an ego space at all. I can easily do that. I mean, it's not, I mean, when I do my sessions, I charge whatever I need to charge depending on the, the amount of sessions I'm doing or what I'm doing. That's a whole different thing. So balance these things out in your life, really balance it out in your life. And, open yourself to decluttering. Okay, enough spoken. Let's hear from you guys. Any questions, anything to share?
I have something to ask
Yeah,
you.
please.
So, during that session that I was mentioning right in the beginning, they
Mhm.
also said that, while we're wearing the clothes, etc., so, they also absorb your energy. Hence,
Absolutely.
number one, that we should not get into the habit of exchange of clothes. Like, especially the youngsters are into that. And secondly, when we are giving out the clothes, one should wash the clothes first. Of course, I
Mm.
understand that, one should give out the neat, for the hygienic purpose and so on and so forth. But you think so that clothes and things also they absorb our energy, and they say that when somebody else wears it, your energy gets sucked up, or I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't go so much into that, because I'm not really talking so much about physical clutter. I mean, I'm sure those things have their own value and there is a reason why they have been mentioned in that way. I totally respect that. But what we really need to look at or reflect on is how much we can offer and, be a part of, uh, really, when we say, okay, live from a space of expansion, how much we can really expand ourselves and put ourselves out by just being a little mindful of emptying out our cupboards, decluttering our digital stuff, um, and our mind. Because if you really look at your cupboard, if you looked at a person who's a perfectionist and you really look at, the way his cupboards and his house and their drawers are all settled, you know that this person is a perfectionist. and they have their things arranged, they have their life arranged, even if it could be very, very structured and, suffocating. And in the same way, if you see that there's clutter all around, you will see that clutter coming into your life, into your mind. Invariably, it will come. We can't help it. It's like, when you step out into the road and you think you've really rushed out of your house and you're really rushing somewhere, you feel, oh my gosh, there's going to be so much traffic on the road. The moment you step out, you'll only see traffic. But if you step out very peacefully and say, okay, let me just go about at the same time, same day, even if there's traffic, you'll just smoothly sail through the traffic. So, what I'm trying to say is that it's the energy that we carry and we send out that creates what, we want to, what in a way we are wanting to manifest. So, if you really want to manifest abundance, let's get into that space of gratitude. And of course, actually, I slipped out on the topic that I was coming to, is allowing ourselves to receive, have that space to receive. That space to receive only comes when we feel deserving of it, right? If you're already full of so much, we can't give, we can't receive, we don't hear. A lot of times I'm telling somebody in a session that, this is what you need to do, but the person is not hearing me because she's so, or he's so full of their own story that they are not listening to me. And I'm not blaming or judging anybody, but I'm just trying to say that you cannot receive in that session anything, because you're already too full and, blocked till here. And even when I look at any work that I do, and I always feel that, with even a person, it's not just with a teacher or in a class. I feel every student, every person I work with is teaching me something. So I have to be empty to receive, isn't it? If I'm full and say, okay, so now I'm the teacher, I know everything, and I'm going to just give you all this gyan. No, I cannot progress like that. It has to be coming from a space where I'm also open to receiving something from you, from everybody in your life. So these things you learn only when there is space in your mind to allow these things to come in. And if you live from that space, abundance cannot, it's not that you will, abundance will just flow in every aspect of your life. But uske liye jagah bhi to honi chahiye na. God is knocking here, take this abundance, but you are already full. To kahan se aayegi? Kahan se aayegi? Where will that abundance come in? It has to have space, and that space will only come when you open yourself up. When you feel that, yes, I fully deserve this because I have space. I have to create that vacuum for it to come in. And so I have to empty myself out. Does that make sense? Any questions, anything anybody wants to say or speak? Mamta, please share.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to emptying and when it comes to kind of filling yourself again, my favorite is, I always say breath work. It has made me realize that how much, um, in fact, all modalities, what I've done with you and all workshops, that how much clutter was there inside me. And since childhood clutter, so latest was the inner child healing I did with you. So it is since childhood that clutter was with me. And slowly, first, I have always, thought that first the awareness has to come and acceptance has to come that, yes, we are in that state and we all of are in that state, because right from the childhood we are uh, you know uh, cluttering ourselves, not even knowing consciously what we are doing to ourselves. And while growing up, when you are adult, then at job, then marriage, then siblings, so many issues around you, even your neighbors. Some people are so caught up with the neighbors also, they hate my, I'm very angry at my neighbor. अरे neighbor ही है यार इतना. So but knowing that makes you, first step is, I think, knowing. The moment I realized that I was full of that clutter, I just didn't want any one of it in my life. So slowly, yes, I work towards it. Thank you so much. And it's not only one modality, Sujata. It's so many modalities from all fronts. I worked on myself, and thanks to this lockdown, actually, that helped gave me so much of time to work on myself and empty myself.
Yeah.
Empty myself.
Yeah.
So whatever now I say or write or whatever, it's not out of anger or hurt. It's about knowing yourself. And of course, I'm a little more honest than the normal person. Like I'm too direct, but sometimes I realized I used to be, talking out of anger or out of hurt or whatever. Now I realize it is more out of awareness and more politeness and more, out of love, I would say.
Mm.
So, and there is a change in my body also. There is a change in my body has become little more softer. It had become so hard. I could, despite 5 years of exercise, regular exercise, I could not touch my feet. So now I can touch it without even effort. I did not do for so long. And I realized it is all the mind. And I saw those changes coming in my body slowly, automatically. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's not
And
just about the modalities. I mean, anything that you're ready to let go of, something will come into your life. You know,
yeah,
that's what-
first the awareness has to come, like the acceptance has to come that, okay, it needs to come out of your system.
Hmm.
So somebody somewhere is waiting you to help you empty it. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to empty. And
Yeah.
so there's a question here where somebody has asked that, Pooja has asked that, what do you mean by empty yourself? What do I mean by empty yourself? You know, like, don't always feel that I know everything or I have everything. If you feel that, yeah, I have everything, and again, I'm talking from the space of the mind, not from the heart, that I have everything, then there is no scope for more, isn't it? Where is the fresh energy going to come in from? So empty yourself means receive, tell the universe, say in your prayers that let me receive all that I need to receive. And if there's anything that does not serve me, I just let it go. Only then would I be open to receiving more. You know what I mean? So you have to really empty yourself, empty your cupboards, empty your laptop, empty your phone, empty, I mean, anything that we feel that, and really look and reflect, not from the point that do I need it only. I have not used this clothes for maybe 2 years, but they're still lying in my cupboard. So do I really need to keep them any longer? But I just keep them because I I feel from either a fear-based aspect of, yeah, I could need them tomorrow. So then I'm always living with that fear, na? But also think that, okay, if this goes to somebody who's more needy, for them it'll be like such a big thing. So that opens up my heart chakra, and that empties just not my cupboard, but also empties a lot of ego within me. Is it making sense? It just empties a lot of my ego because I'm not living from that space of fear or from that, from the lower three chakras, as we say. We're really coming into an expanded space of, let me just offer it out. And in the same way, when we look at this little ritual that a lot of us do before Diwali, that we need to clean our houses so that Lakshmi can come in. Don't we all say this? Because Lakshmi only comes in where the space is clean. Lakshmi never goes anywhere where it's dirty. That's what is said in the Hindu mythology in particular. So, and at Diwali it is said that on Diwali Lakshmi does come in. So that's why we clean our houses, we declutter. Actually, we declutter. And like now, things have become very different from what they originally were meant to be. But even if for that matter we declutter and we remove, we always say, okay, let's throw away the old and let's bring in the new. And that's, even if we look at it spiritually, it's really okay. When this body has served what it's meant to do, it's really ready to go and come into another life in a more expanded or in a more higher vibrational energy. So this is in a way the rhythm of life, isn't it? Isn't it? The moment somebody passes on, it's like, okay, quickly cremate this body or quickly bury this body, because now it's done what it's needed to. Until the time it was alive, it was like, yeah, you were living with that person, you were breathing, eating, everything with that person. So now it's served what it's needed to done, and now respectfully it needs to go on, isn't it? So everything like is like that. Yes, Mamta, you were saying something.
Yeah, I when you said this sentence that, let anything that does not serve me should leave me. I remember it was somewhere in April, May, and the full moon was about to come, and I heard this first sentence from, in the Reiki sessions, and it just dawned me that, okay, I didn't want these things in my life. So for one at least month, from full moon till the no moon, and from the new moon to, So I intended so, if you remember, I intended so fiercely, and I cried and cried, and I was in such a, literally I thought I was in a bad shape because everything was coming out. Everything. It was like a gandhi nali, as you said. It's like a gandhi nali. It has to be pushed out. And I just intended every day sitting that I don't want this in my life. All memories I didn't want. So much I didn't want, and it helped actually. You have to really want it. I think that is the key, Sujata. That is the
Yeah.
key.
And also, when we talk about abundance in terms of manifesting abundance, manifesting money, manifesting more, as in, something really, like Mamta says, something that you really want in your life, you really have to firstly create a vacuum to pull that. And that's the law of attraction, really pull that into your life. And you know that even when you're, if you want to refill certain things in your life, even if you want to refill certain things, you have that, certain restaurants you go to and they just give you that, you can keep refilling the Coke as long as you're eating there. You have to first empty the glass to refill it, isn't it? You have to really empty the glass. So you have to really empty out all that and finish whatever the purpose of those things are in your life. And then you'll see how abundance will flow in every aspect of your life. Every aspect. I mean, I can I can reassure you in every which way. And you, if any of you want to ask about this, just feel free to ask. If you disagree, or if you feel that there are certain things that you don't really are not clear, because once you get into that space of living in gratitude or clearing stuff from your life that does not serve you, there is no way that abundance will not flow in your life. There's absolutely no way. This Pooja, did this empty yourself? Did it make sense to you? Where is she?
Jata, I wanted to ask you, this
Yeah,
is
Shalini.
Shalini here.
Yeah, Shalini.
I love to read,
Hmm.
and I've kept books from my childhood as well.
Hmm.
And now listening to you, I'm thinking that is it something that I'm hoarding? It's just that I'm passionate about books.
Hmm.
And I've kept all my books that my daughter will also read them. She does read them.
Hmm.
So is that something also that I
Um,
think about decluttering?
no, if it is giving you, I'm not really asking you in that way that you throw away things that you're keeping like that. But if you feel that, yeah, I've kept them because my daughter will read them, again, there also we need to declutter and maybe filter out things, not really clear or throw away everything. I don't really mean that you throw away everything. If it really is there for, and you are, if you are wanting to keep it and asking or wanting your daughter to read them, it has great value in them, isn't it? Anything that has great value, you keep it. But then reflect on that if out of all these books, do you think that all of them will be kept? Or even sometimes we keep things or books just for their, just for that look of, the shelves have these books. And nowadays it's very, very popular, even on the center tables in big, you have nice encyclopedias and all that. And that's fine to some level. I'm not saying that literally take it in that way, but what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say is that use things, bring in more fresh. I mean, if you keep bringing in more books, you'll have to somewhere throw off the old. Otherwise it'll be like stuffing them in trunks. And that's why I used to have all these old things. You have trunks where you keep stuffing things. But now it's really about use them fully, and share them maybe in a library where more children will read. And some few
Right.
which you really want to keep them for your daughter, keep them. Why not? Won't it give you so much joy when so many children can read those books?
That's true.
Right? So I'm just like, it's just coming to me while you're asking. And I really don't mean that one has to throw away everything. Even if I look right now, anytime, I think all of us are coming from those kind of, say, spaces where we always have things in our house which are not serving us. We get in new things also. We'll get in a new pressure cooker, but we'll keep using the old one and keep repairing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are we living in? We are living in lack कि जब तक ये चल रहा है इसको चलाते जाओ. So
Hmm.
repair it and give it to somebody and use the new one, that'll save you on gas rather than, getting it. But that's just how our mind works. And I mean, I also do it, and I'm not really saying about judging anybody in that way. And I'm not
Hmm.
even meaning to waste things, in that way. I'm not meaning to do that, but I'm just saying that we have this habit of somehow hoarding things, hoarding thoughts, not being able to let go. And actually, this talk is not so much about physical manifestation. It's more about really releasing those thoughts, and not the ability to let go, this inability to let go. And a lot of times, in our body mind connect, we say that what is constipation? Constipation is really holding on to what? Holding on to, and I pardon me for using this word, but it's really holding on to shit, isn't it? And what is it? It's just a waste. It's things that we just don't need. It's negative thoughts, it's fears, holding on to these negative emotions, and that's what leads to even a disease like constipation. And of course, when I talk about the diseases, I don't rule out, they could always have a physical aspect to them also. But when we hoard these things in our mind, it's the whole attitude with which we live. And you see these people who are living on the roads, I mean, they just earn for the day, they live, they are so trusting in the universe that I'm going to be fed. When they sleep at night, they don't even know that, what's going to happen in the morning. How am I going to get my food, leave aside breakfast, tea, whatever. But they something takes them through the day, isn't it? And we are living such privileged lives. Let us not even go there. But let's also, get into that space of shifting that attitude of hoarding in our spaces, in our minds, in our things, and open up our heart centers. And our heart will only open up when we start physically releasing those. If you see that your cupboards are full and they are messy, that's what is here. You can always look at it that way. You might be very successful in your work, you might be earning a lot of money, you might be having good relationships, but your mind is always as messy and as chaotic as your cupboards or as your drawers, right? So important to reflect on this and then make space for new. Make space for new. Yes, Shweta. Sorry, who was speaking?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, give example of this entangle art, which a few of us started learning during the lockdown. During the initial class, I would say we were in such a habit of quoting the new art pieces. Like we'll go to net, we'll go to Insta, all the social media tools, and we'll just keep collecting. Ye bhi banana, ye bhi banana, ye bhi. Probably I'll have more than 300 designs with me. But when it comes to practically creating those Zen designs, I've hardly made 50 out of those 500. And then, you lose that peace of mind somewhere that wo copy tha design, but usko bana nahi paaye. And, so I was just giving that
Yeah.
once you start decluttering your wardrobe and the other things, or your mind also, probably we'll also have to get into the aspect of relevance, what all is required, and in the next, the fresh ideas, whether it is actually required, it is relevant in our life or not. And that's how probably we'll achieve that peace of mind, which is there currently. So I thought I'll just give that
If you
example.
go into a room which is full of so many things, it might be the best of the artifacts, this, that, but it's so suffocating to be there because you're so scared. I might just touch something and that costs like $1,000, and I don't want to give this, so let me just sit very tightly. Whereas you go into an open space where there's just some cushions lying, and nice colors and bright and vibrant place, so you can just be free. That's how your life can be, and you can bring in anything over there, and it's like it just comes, it does, it work, and it goes, it just comes, it does what it needs to and goes. And just like Shweta gave that example, which was so wonderful, even when it's talking about modalities, even when we are reading about something, it's okay, let me read more, let me read more, let me gather more information. But actually, no, if you just watch one video on that, or if you just get the crux of it, it's more than enough. Like I say, there's so many modalities that one can learn, but even if you practice one, it's more than enough. When people say, okay, what are the levels of Reiki? How can I move from one level to the other? It's not about moving from one level to the other. Learn one level, live it fully, do the best that you can. When you are ready, the next will come into your life. When you're full of that, only then you move on to the next. Don't accumulate certificates. I've done level 1, 2, 3, 4, but I don't practice at all. So it's very important to just do little, just do that much, but you have value for that, and you have respect for that. And when, supposing, like, you have your cupboards full. I've heard my daughter say this a lot of times. you have your cupboards full of clothes. I mean, they're overflowing. आज तो जाना है, रात को कुछ पहनने को ही नहीं है. You know, so you're still living in lack in spite of the fact that you have so much. You know, and the table is full of food, but oh, but this is missing. So, you know, let's call for this. So you don't give importance to what is, you give importance to what has been or what could be. Isn't it? So again, this is decluttering, is in a way really bringing you into the present and showing you that you have enough. And let's complete this. Let's do whatever is needed with this and move on to the next and open ourselves to attracting abundance. And you know, like this talk, as I'm talking to you, it's just coming to me that maybe it's not very specific about just manifesting money or manifesting abundance. The abundance will come when you open up this heart center. Abundance is totally an issue of, though we say the root chakra, but abundance gets blocked in the root chakra. And it's only by opening up our heart that you see that how abundance will flow. That comes in from the space of great generosity. And you know, so many times I've lived in my life where it's been okay, you need to pay for a particular class or you need to do something, and you don't have that kind of, you know, don't have that kind of funds at that moment. But if you really, really pray from your heart, it, you just see how it just falls into your life. And I'm going to give you a very, very personal example about this. I know I'm like, maybe it's going a little off track, but like Mamta said about really attracting it from your heart, I have often mentioned about a teacher we follow, Muji, who stays in Portugal, and he has these retreats that he organizes in Portugal. And about this is about 4 years back that this retreat was being organized, and he usually is in India in the months of January, February, and March. And he came to India in February. We went to Rishikesh, 5 weeks of satsangs, really enjoyed. And I came back a week before the last satsang, and I was here in Delhi, and my teachers Rohini and Tathagat, both of them were there. And since a few years, we had been planning that, you know, one day we are definitely going to go to Portugal to his retreats, because that's such a beautiful place where he holds these retreats. And those are like 7 days of silence or 9 days of silence. And of course, they are in some beautiful resort in Portugal, so they cost quite a bit. And so Rohini called me just as that retreat was finishing that, you know, they have announced a retreat in Portugal in May, and we are giving our names, and of course you're going to come with us, because a lot of people from our Sangha had gone, but somehow Rohini, Tathagat and I decided that whenever we go, we'll go together. So I told her, we've just had, 4 weeks of satsang, and in April I'm going to Dubai. I'm going to Greece with my family. And so, I don't see that budget of traveling to Portugal in May and fitting in this year in the summer. It's going to be too much. So I don't think I can go. So don't book for me. So with a very heavy heart, I said that. And so she said, think about it, this, that. But I said, no, nowhere from in my budget, this thing is falling in place. So I'm out of it. Don't give my name. And of course, they booked for themselves, and they, gave their names in for the thing. And that whole month, they came back and they kept telling me. I said, no, no, no. I tried to think this way, that way. I said, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm traveling to Greece and I'm coming back on the 4th of May. And then on the 17th, you want me to go again to coming back from Europe, going back to Europe. It's not happening. So anyway, so it was decided that it's not happening. And then but in my heart, I really wanted to go. In my heart, I really kept praying and I kept feeling, oh, I wish I could go. I wish I could go. And then, just about 10 days before we went to Greece on a big family holiday, I just, one day something just woke me up in the middle of the night. I said, let me check, because every day I would check the website, ki agar koi jagah hai, how many people are going, what, because it's something that you really want to do. And I saw that suddenly in the middle of the night, I got up and I said, okay, let me just see. Something made me get up. I also didn't get up, and something made me. So I said, okay, there's one old credit card. Let me just see if this works. It was a credit card that belonged to my husband, and it was a combined credit card. So I just swiped that, filled in the details. No space was available. Only a tent was available. So it doesn't matter. I'll stay in the tent. And I booked myself and I went off to sleep. I just shut my laptop and I went off to sleep. And in the morning, I thought, yeah, was I dreaming? Was it the truth? Did it really happen? And then there was this ping on my phone, HDFC Bank, 47,000 X amount of money deducted from the card. And so I said, oh my God, what have I done? Abhi to ye retreat book kar li, there's the ticket to pay for, there's the hotel to, the travel, whatever else comes with that whole thing, the visa, this, that. How is it going to happen? But then I said, okay, we'll see about it. Let me first go and enjoy my holiday. And I was actually quite, thinking about it, that how is it this going to happen? And I came back from Greece on the 4th of May. And from the 4th, and actually what I thought to myself in my heart was that that year was my 50th birthday. So I thought that let this holiday be my treat to myself for my 50th birthday. So I'll go to Portugal, I'll come back in May, and my birthday is in July, on the 4th of July. So by the 4th of July, I would have cleared off this, credit card due, because with the ticket and all, whatever amount it came to. So slowly and gradually, I'll clear it off. That'll be my gift to myself for this 50th birthday. And you won't believe that on the 4th of May, when I came back, from the 4th to the 17th, so many people called me up for work. Please do a healing for my space. Please do a clearing for my space. And I would say, I'm traveling. I won't be able to do it in this month. Doesn't matter. We're putting the money in your account. You do it whenever you can. You do it next month. Doesn't matter. And when I left on the 17th of May, I actually gave my son that check that just go and deposit it. Everything paid off. So I'm just saying that when you really, really intend from your heart and you open yourself to that trust in the universe, ke ho jayega, it'll happen, because it's coming from a very, very pure intent. The universe pours it into your life. The universe totally pours it into your life. And actually, when I went to Portugal and we, attended the Zima retreat in Portugal, every day I felt that I need to raise my hand. You know how it is. It's a silent retreat where Muji Baba has his satsangs. We just go in for the morning satsang and the evening satsang, and all through the day we are absolutely silent. No eye contact, no communication, nothing. And only in the satsang hall you raise your hand if there's a question that you want to ask, and he calls you to the mic and you speak. And every day I used to think that God has been so kind, the universe has been so kind, and it's been really a miracle that I'm here in Portugal. I must express gratitude by standing up and, saying this, sharing this story, because for me it was a very big thing. Every day I would sheepishly raise my hand, and of course there were so many people raising their hands, and he never looked at me to even ask why I was trying to raise my hand. And on the last day, I told myself that, look, now you cannot not express gratitude for this. So today, do your best, raise your hand, and अगर वो बोल देंगे बुला लेंगे स्टेज पे तो फाइन, नहीं बुलाएंगे तो एटलीस्ट योर कॉन्शियसनेस इज क्लियर कि I tried, I put my hand up, and he didn't call me, so it's not about me. And that day I went and sat right in the center of the stage, but right behind, so it was not very easy for him to see me, but I got a place there only, so I had no choice. And then I raised my hand, and my mind is telling me, there's 700 people here. Do you think he's going to point to you and tell you, okay, come up? So raise your hand. At least do what you need to do. So I raised my hand. And you won't believe me, he pointed his finger right straight to me. And I looked around, because when anybody raised their hands, there were so many people around, and everybody would want to run to the mic to speak, and share their thing. And I looked around, there was nobody around me. And he kept telling me, you, I have that video, I can even play it sometime, to show you. And I got up, I saw myself getting up, and I walked up to the mic, a hall full of like 700, 800 people standing there. And I could literally see that black mic coming onto me, like this. Oh my God, what is going to happen? I was so breathless. I was so nervous. And I stood there in that hall and I actually narrated this whole story, that this is a gift to me, for me, to myself. But the universe has been so kind that, I'm here without any stress of going back and working and this and that and, giving the money back or this and that. And actually the whole hall was so touched by this that everybody started clapping. He called me to the stage and he, gave me a beautiful rose to really bless me. So I'm just trying to say that when you really set that intent from your heart and you open yourself, you just don't know what all you'll receive. This is just absolutely nothing. There's so much you'll receive. So just declutter, just remove all all those fears, those mistrust in the universe, that I don't know if this is going to happen in my life. No, just know that I need to do this. I really, really want this. And if it is for your highest and best, It'll just be poured into your life. Just be poured into your life. So I don't know from where to where I went, but thank you so much for listening to me patiently. And I know that these things definitely impact. I hear them as much as you hear them, and they really lead on to opening up so much in our lives. So really, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy. Actually, I feel that these words flow through you. These words really, really flow through you because you all need to hear it. I need to hear it. And with that trust, I mean, I really wish you all an abundant year, abundant Diwali. Just open yourself, have trust in every aspect. Just know universe is looking after you. And I mean, you're really blessed. So, wish you all a very, very happy, joyous, prosperous Diwali. May abundance flow in every aspect of your life.
Thank you, Sujata. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
so much.
Sujata.
Thank you, Sujata. Thank you very much.
Wish you the same and so much more.
Thank you. Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So
Thank
much,
you.
Thank you
Sujata.
so much, Sujata.
Thank you. Thank you. I really wasn't sure how this topic would go, but I feel again like it's the universe. Just the words
Thank you.
come what you
Thank you
put
so
out.
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank
Sujata.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Sujata.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
See you all
Thank you,
soon.
Sujata.
Thank you.
Thank you.